Alright, hey everybody. Hopefully this video will help you out. This is review sheet number 18, little quick video that you hopefully are using because it's going to help you. First one here, this can be found in your chapter 3 notes. So if you go to your chapter 3 notes, you know that that chapter was primarily all about dividing fractions and mixed numbers. So you just got to remember that division is just multiplication by the divisor's reciprocal. Okay, so well, you know what? Dividend is going to stay the same. Divide is going to become multiply. And then, I'm sorry, dividend is going to stay the same. Division is going to become multiplication. And then the reciprocal of 6/7 would be 7/6. So really the problem you're doing here is 3/4 times 7/6. Okay? Now, remember at this step right here, you can cross simplify where you can. Remember that's where you look diagonally. And then you ask yourself if they share a factor. And like 4 and 7, they share a factor of 1 only. So that doesn't help you. But 3 and 6, on the other hand, they both share a 3. So you can divide that 3 out. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then get your answer that way. Okay? That's going to be the same way as this one is going to be very similar. Now, these two down here I'm going to be very picky on. As you can remember when we did this chapter, those are mixed numbers. I need to see 2 steps on these right here. These ones up here, the first two, there's only have to be 1 step like I showed you. You literally just do the algorithm for division. When you get down here, I need to see 2 steps. Now if you go back to your chapter 3 notes or last week's review sheet, you should know what those 2 steps were. Okay? So remember the first step is you want to leave it into a division problem. All you want to do is you want to go around the barn with it. Okay, you want to make those into improper fractions first. Okay, that's step 1. You leave a division, you just put them in a fraction form. And then step 2, that is when you do this algorithm where division is just multiplication by the divisor's reciprocal. So this being flipped over. So it's really, if you think about it, this up here is step 2. Step 1, they were already in fraction form. So hopefully that helps. If you don't have 2 steps, it will be wrong on when we go over it. Okay? This is one of these, I don't know if you guys remember from chapter 5, we had a couple where we were, I think it was a car wash, or maybe it wasn't a car wash, it was like, they were renting out a banquet hall or something, and there was a flat rate for the first couple hours, so this is very similar. So she's wanting to rent out this bowling alley, so for the first 2 hours, you know, if they're going to be there for 2 hours, that's $50 right off the top. There is no ratio there. That's just that you just know. I mean, it is a ratio, 50 to 2. But if you're there for at least 2 hours, you're going to have to pay $50. It's just that simple. That is going to be something you have to pay. And then if you're there any more than that, you're going to have to pay $15 for every hour after that. Okay? So that's where you got to see, okay, she was there for 8 hours. Okay, well, we know that the first 2 hours, that's $50. So that means after the $50, she was there for 6 hours. You should all be doing this as a proportion. This step right here. Okay, because right here would be your fake ratio. 15 for every hour. So 15 over 1, and then I think you can figure it out after that. Okay, and then of course you'd add the 2 totals together. Okay? This one here, this is learning target number 3 of chapter 6. Just go look in your notes right now. I'm not going to go over it because I've talked about this a lot, and I think you guys should be able to do it. And if you can't, look in your Chapter 6 Learning Target 3 notes. It gives you a step-by-step process, a 1, 2, 3 step of how to do this, but hopefully you know how to do that. Okay, here you're ordering these least to greatest. Now, in order to order them least to greatest, you need to convert all of these to the same type of number. Remember, percents, regular numbers, and fractions can all become each other, as you guys remember from learning target number 2. Okay, so you've got to convert them, and I don't care how you do it. Now I will tell you, I personally think that this right here is the easiest one, to convert all these to regular numbers. Okay, but if you want to make all these fractions, go ahead, but I'm just warning you, it probably is going to be a little bit challenging. Okay, so I wouldn't, it'll be hard. Okay, if you want to turn them all to percents, that's going to take an extra step. This right here is already a regular number. This is already a regular number. That's already a regular number. Okay, and then all you got to do is convert this to a regular number, this to a regular number, and this to a regular number. Okay, remember the fractions? All fractions are division problems. That's how you turn it into a regular number. So simply do 3 divided by 4. That'll give you the regular number for that. Same thing for this. For this one, remember that's the fraction, 6.8 out of 100. So it's just 6.8 divided by 100 because all fractions are division problems. Then once you figure that out, you put them all as they're all regular numbers. Then you put them least to greatest, and I think you guys will think that's easy. But you got to do one of these 3. But what I highlighted in green was the easiest. Okay, looks like number 6. Mr. Edwards gets an award every 6 weeks, mediates world peace with the president every 8 weeks. If Mr. Edwards did both these this week, and how many weeks will it be before he gets an award that mediates peace during the same week? Okay, I'm just going to put one word here to help you guys. And I'm not going to do anything else, but just remember, you should know what work I require there. And if you don't, you need to look back to your Chapter 1 notes, way back in August and September. Okay, we got to know what our work is there. It's a future question. Okay, here, PEMDAS question, that is, remember that just means multiply, so that's just another way to show multiplication. I don't know whether or not you can, if there's a problem with the copy, I don't know. I don't think there is, but that is a division sign. Just remember you're following PEMDAS, you're doing one step in rewriting. Yukiko plays on the softball team at her school. The team won 9 of its first 12 games. So right there is your fake ratio. Okay, so you're going to do a proportion, and we can start with labels. That means we know that they won 9 out of 12 total. So we know we're doing wins to total. Okay, we want to know how many games they won, so this is obviously what we're looking for if they played 64 games. Okay, let's go on. Now this you haven't learned. This was actually supposed to be taken off, so hopefully everybody's going to watch it because I'm pretty much just going to give you the answer. This is actually Chapter 7. Okay, and the reason it was on there is because last year we did 7 before 6, but that doesn't matter. Okay, people are saying, well, this is the answer, p less than 7. No. I mean, yes, it is, but that's not what we're doing. Okay, we're writing algebraic expressions. Now, if you don't remember what an algebraic expression is, it is something like x plus 7. Okay, an algebraic expression has variables, numbers, and an operation or operations. Okay, if we ever put an equal sign on there and do something like that, then it becomes an equation. Okay, so an expression does not have an equal sign. So if we're saying p less than 10, we're saying we don't know, this is an unknown number, less than 10, so this is going to be 10 minus p. Now I'm going to give you a way to kind of help you to understand that because that's confusing. A lot of people think p minus 10. Remember, order matters when you're doing subtraction because it's, in this case, it's whole minus part. Okay, whole minus part. It's not, when you're just adding like part plus part equals whole, it doesn't matter because they're both parts. That doesn't matter. Okay? Think about this. Let's say p was 5 or 6. If I said 6 less than 10, everybody would be able to tell me the answer was 4. You wouldn't find that answer by doing 6 minus 10. That would be negative 4. So it's this many less, so you're taking this from this, so it has to be 10 minus p. So that's the answer to that one. Okay, the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So we know this is going to be times. Now a lot of people are just doing d times 7 or d dot 7. I just want everybody to know, even though I'll probably accept them this week, actually, you know what? No, I won't, because if you're watching this video, you're going to get all these questions right. So I'm not going to accept it because I'm going to let everybody know that they need to be watching the video. That is not proper, what's called notation. Okay, when we're showing multiplication of a variable and a number, we always put the number first and then the variable, and they're touching. And you guys learned that earlier in the year, that anytime you see a number and a variable touching like that, you know you are talking about multiplication. So that needs to be 7D. 7D, that's how you write it. And make sure you use a lowercase d. You always use lowercase variables. This right here says P, capital P, that's wrong. That should say lowercase p, like that. Okay? We're going to add 5 to the quotient. Now quotient means division. we're going to add 5 to the quotient of Q and 9. Now I see a lot of people doing this. Q divided by 9 plus 5. Now, I will accept that, but I just want everybody to have this on your paper as well. I want you guys to always get in the habit of writing all division problems as fractions. Whoops. Okay, we really, this symbol right here, after 7th grade, you really will never use that symbol again in math. You might use it in life, but you will always represent, when you get into algebra, and maybe some of your older brothers and sisters have taken algebra, you will always represent division problems as fractions because, as we mentioned up here, all fractions are division problems. Okay, that's why I always am saying that stuff. So we should write Q divided by 9 plus 5. Now, just so everybody's aware, you could also have 5 plus Q divided by 9. And the reason you can flip the order is because addition is commutative. The order in which you do it does not matter. So 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 are the same thing. Okay? Now, if this said subtract 5, that would be a whole different deal. Okay? So those are the only two answers I will accept there. Okay? Here, subtract the quotient of P and 4. So we're talking right there. Quotient of P and 4 would be P over 4. Key word here I want you to focus on, you may as well start hearing it now, is the word from. Okay? When you say you're taking this from something else, that means you're taking it from it, which makes whatever's after from the whole. So that needs to come first. Remember, it's whole minus part equals part. So that's going to be 2 times 2 minus the quotient of P and 4, so P over 4. So really the best way to write this would be, go ahead and do 2 times 2, that's 4, minus P over 4, sorry. So that really is the best answer there. That's the most simplified answer you could get. Okay? And again, notice I didn't use the division sign. I didn't put P divided by 4. Remember, we're showing all division problems as fractions. So absolutely nobody in my classes should miss this question because I just gave you all the answers on that. You're welcome. Okay, number 9. This is unit price. You can look back to your chapter. This could be chapter 4 or 5. We did it in both. Just look for the one that talks about unit rate. The only thing I'm going to say here, when you're doing unit price, that would be actually 5. Sorry, should be 5 on that. Unit price, remember, money always goes on top because unit price means the cost per one of the item. So in this case, we're talking about hats. So it's just, here's your hats. And remember, 1 always goes in the bottom right. Pretty basic there. You just got to figure out how much money we are trying to figure out it costs for 1 hat. So you put your fake ratio here. From here, you can cross multiply and divide, or just know that you're dividing your number of hats by 3, so you have to do the same thing to your money. All 3 of those are going to be the same. Be real careful on this one with your rounding. Okay? You have to round on that one because it's money. Remember, money always goes to 2 decimal places. Number 10. Okay? Look back to your chapter 3 notes. I don't think I need to. I think I've said enough on what dividend, divisor, and quotient is. So look back to your chapter 3 notes if you need to there. Okay, go to the next page. Okay. This question right here. You can see what they did here. They have 3/4 and 1/6, and then it says which one shows the sum. So basically all it's saying is what's 3/4 plus 1/6. Now they showed a model, so I can't remember if it's shaded on yours or not. I think it is, but if it's not, it should be. Okay, what they're doing is they just found a common denominator. Okay, and you just got to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They made their denominators 12. And then remember, whatever you do to the bottom, you must do that same thing to the top. So we multiplied by 3 here, so that's going to be 9/12. That's why there are 9 shaded there. So that's all I'm going to say about that one, but sum means addition, obviously. You're just adding them together. Okay? Here's another question, guys. I'm just going to write one word, just like that, the one about Mr. Edwards. So here we go. This is a future question, so look back to chapter 1. There is a expected amount of work that I expect there, and you should know what that is. And if you don't know, look back in your chapter 1 notes. It's there. Okay, next page. Okay. This question. Carol makes 9 1/3 cups of snack mix. She puts all the snack mix into plastic bags. Now, whenever you start seeing something being put into bags, or specifically into groups, okay, you should already have a good idea that it might be a division problem, right? You're taking something, you're taking a whole, and you're dividing it into groups or bags. Okay, so just think about that, and then you know that there's going to be some part that's going to be given to you. In this case, you are given the size or the amount of snack mix in each bag. Okay, so just go ahead and tell you now, I need to see 2 steps here, just like on the front on number 1. I need to see 2 steps. This was the same way. Okay. This one, you have to figure out, there's point W right there, and it says it wants to know what is the value of the x coordinate. Remember, the x coordinate is the one that goes horizontally. So obviously I'll highlight it for you. Whoops, that's not very good. Oh, that's not either. There we go. Okay, that's your x right there. So when you're looking at that, you're going, okay, what x coordinate would that have? Well, you got to remember this right here is your x. Just think about where that would be. Okay. Final 2 questions. Just keep in mind one thing. If I gave you 2 to the 5th, that means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. This number is the one that's being repeated, the base number. The exponent's the amount of times it's being repeated, multiplied by itself. So there is more than one answer there. Okay, you have to go through and select the correct one. Here, this is chapter 5, so this is what we just did. It's all about reading. We want to know what is the ratio of mystery books. So mystery books checked out to non-fiction books. Okay, so from there you're gonna have to go up and figure out what that ratio is, and then obviously you're gonna have to simplify it. Okay, hopefully that helped, but I think this was maybe one of the easier review sheets we've had. See you guys.